Cash Color Camp is a high level of conversation on LivehiphopDaily.tv. And again, this episode is sponsored by Lambus Clothing. Everything from our Lambus Signature Collection to our Drug Lord Collection and our Return to Vipers Collection are all available for purchase right now. And if you head to the website and shop today, use promo code CashColorCampus at checkout and save 10% off your order. All right, so I got one more guest in the building. I almost should have called these episodes Conversation with Friends. Yes. Like, I've known Dev for a grip, too. Like, matter of fact, since I moved down here to Atlanta, you was one of the people, one of my first contributors for a website I used to work on, I used to have. DJ's Doing Work. Yes,
definitely.
Yeah, most of y'all don't remember that because I had to fold it. But DJ's Doing Work was popping at one moment, man. We was out here in these streets. But that was one of our main contributors. And one of the things that she definitely added to the flavor was not only just some dope content, but she actually helped us kind of now that I know what SEO is, now that I know a lot of stuff is, actually helped us with titling and helped us make sure that we got our stories out correctly and that people would actually recognize them and they was popping up in y'all feed. So without further ado, man, I got my friend Dev Gillespie in the building. What's up, Dev?
What's up, Mecca?
Hey, shit, man, popping, man.
Finally got me in the studio.
Yeah, got you down here downtown Atlanta real quick, man, to talk about your business. Because like I said, you helped us out immensely when you were doing DJs Doing Work. And I didn't even really recognize it until now when I do Cash Color Cannabis and I have people who do help me with SEOs. That early you was helping us with SEO, you know what I mean? And helping us with titles and stuff. So before we get into what you're doing, the services you offer, just please introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
Yes, well, my name is Dev Gillespie, and I'm originally from Grand Rapids, Michigan. I moved down here to Atlanta about 10 years ago, really just to work. Came down here with a plan and an idea, and I have my own business, which is Elite Eye Publishing, and then I have my website, which is devgillespie.com. And what I do through my brand is I provide services for entrepreneurs, influencers, small businesses, and I'm going ahead and doing professionally written bios for them. We do contract editing, contract drafting. We do SEO guides, like you were saying. Like, a lot of people really don't know what that is. We provide guides with our services. I also do some creative writing. And, you know, just really branding for entrepreneurs and those small businesses, just to tell your story and to make sure that, you know, you're standing out with your brand.
Solid, man. So talk to us about some of the services that you offer through your business.
Well, one of the main services that I offer is professionally written bios as well as website content management. That goes hand in hand with the SEO. I started off by interviewing artists through my own website. I've worked with Vibe before. I've been featured on thugmasterflex.com as well. And what I do is when I would meet my artists or subjects, like, we would be talking and we would go ahead and do the story, and then they're like, you know, I need to do a bio or I need a press release. Like, can you go ahead and write that for me? So that's how I started, like, just from going to different, you know, events, meeting with different artists, meeting with different entrepreneurs and businesses. And then I turned the writing, as far as like the journalism and the one-on-one interviews, I went ahead and turned that into a business where I'm providing them with the professionally written bios as well as the content management. We're doing the SEO guides as well as some creative writing as well.
And all that is totally needed because, as I joked about, you definitely helped us out early with SEO. And to this moment, I'm still trying to learn myself what search engine optimism is. Talk to us about SEO and the tools that you learn with working with brands such as like Google and how helping people monetize their websites.
Okay, yeah, definitely. I worked with Google. I had a 2-year contract with Google from 2015 to 2017. What SEO is, it's search engine optimization, and that's exactly what it sounds like. You're optimizing your brand or your website within the search engine. And why you want to do that is because that's how you monetize your website, like how we talked about that before. We have social media where, you know, you can go ahead and tell people, you know, like, this is my social, but you always want to be in control of your intellectual property, and you always want to be able to have something that you own when it comes to your content. Yeah. So when I was working with Google, well, first let's go ahead and tell you what SEO is.
Yeah.
It's the search engine optimization. So how you become one of those top sites, you know, when you're Googling things and there's pages and pages and pages of websites. those top 2 or 3, those are the most trusted sites, and those are the sites with the best content. That's what SEO is. You want to have someone on your team that knows how to add in those backlinks, knows how to add in those keywords, and making sure that your website is mobile friendly, because you can have an amazing website that looks really good, but if somebody is trying to Google you and you could literally be maybe 2 or 3 miles from them, you may not even come up in their search engine because your website just isn't how it's supposed to be. So what we do is just make sure that you are one of those top sites, and you do that by just really just having amazing content.
Yeah. And I'm learning myself again how important it is to have everything from backlinks to just even having the proper keywords. Like I get so confused sometimes doing cash color cannabis, and when it pops up, what's your keyword? I almost freeze. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know what to pick. Yeah, and it's important to know, because it definitely helps raise that bar. It helps. Right now, it helps us maintain our standing. Like when you type in cash color cannabis, you see a whole line of stuff where I've had other websites where you have to Google for days and go from page to page to page to page to find your thing. So definitely it's an important thing for people to understand that if you're going to have a website, definitely if you're trying to monetize it or you're trying to make any kind of real progress with it, you're going to make sure you have to have people like yourself who can help you do those type of things on the back end. So how do you think your services, because in speaking to our audience right now, because our audience is cannabis based, we have some amazing entrepreneurs in the house right now. How can your services actually help some of these black cannabis entrepreneurs maximize their brands?
Well, one thing that I've noticed is that with black entrepreneurs, a lot of people get discouraged within the cannabis business. A lot of people get discouraged when they see like how much paperwork it is that's actually involved. If you're in a legal state, you have to make sure that really you are really dotting your I's and crossing your T's.
Yeah.
What I can provide, one of the services that I do is contract editing and contract drafting. You would obviously want to have a lawyer, to go over your actual licensings and those things. But how we can help just as far as like your contracting within your brand, just make sure that you're branding yourself correctly, like within that industry. I'm a storyteller. I like to make sure that when I'm working with my artists or brands or businesses, like we're telling a story. We want to know who you are, what separates you from the next person that's doing the same thing. So what I help with entrepreneurs within the cannabis business is doing that website management, making sure that your contracts are exactly how they need to be, making sure that your brand of whatever you're selling that has to do with cannabis, like make sure we're telling your story, because like you said, you're going to go and Google and it's going to be 1,000 cannabis businesses, but you want to make sure that yours is standing out. And that's really what I do, is provide that branding, and as well as making sure that the contracting and that paperwork that you don't want to go through and edit and read, like that's what we do.
All right. So what are you working on next? Like what's coming down the pipeline for you?
Well, right now I'm currently redoing my website, and I'm going to have new services that I'm offering to, again, businesses, entrepreneurs, and artists as well. I'm definitely starting to get more into the film industry. I did my first documentary with Vibe magazine. It was in 2016 or 2017. So I'm definitely working on, just producing more films and just getting on, that side of the camera when it comes down to, just producing content.
That's what's up, man. I'm almost on time too. So,
yes, we're on time.
So if somebody wanted to contact you, they wanted to learn more about SEO, they wanted to learn how they could actually monetize their brand, or just wanted to follow you in general, like how could they get in contact with you?
Yes, well, my website is devgillespie.com. And then my Instagram handle that I'm using right now is dev.gillespie. And then I'm also rebranding with my website, so I have a new business Instagram, and that is Told by Dev.
Word. Dev, appreciate you coming through and completing our Conversation with Friends conversation
Yes,
today.
thank you for having me. I've been wanting to come on for a few years, so I'm definitely excited to be here.
No doubt, man. Thank you for coming through. It was a rainy night, and everybody don't like coming downtown Atlanta at 9 o'clock.
No, we got to get it, no matter what.
So I appreciate you, man, coming through. And that is Cash Color Canvas, high level of conversation on LivehiphopDaily.tv.